Hi guys, it's that time of the year again. It's been a while since I made a video, but I figured, I'll make a video while I replace these winter tires. So I've got my summer tires ready to go. Got the hockey pucks right there, and I'm just gonna swap them. I've also realized that I can actually jack up one side of the car once, so I'll take a picture of that and show you. One thing about these hubcaps is that they do a good job of covering up the wheel, but pretty filthy in there, so I'm gonna have to wash these when I'm done. Whatever brick dust or grime is in there is just stuck in there. So I'm gonna take those hockey pucks, stick them into a little slot underneath the car here, and then we're gonna get ready to swap the tires and see how long it takes. Should be less than an hour. Okay, I'm also going to go check to see how much mileage we did in the winter time, just to see how efficient this Model 3 is after about maybe like 70,000 miles, just to see what the watt hours per mile is. All right, let's keep going. So I'm in the car right now, and I zeroed this around, I think maybe it was November time frame when I swapped to winter tires. And so that's now saying we did about 5,500 miles. On average is 258 watt hours per mile, so that's actually not too bad. I think that it averages maybe a little bit lower than that overall. But pretty much if you precondition in the winter time, it doesn't really hurt your mileage that much. And if I look at the lifetime mileage here, it does show that so we got the car at 42,000 miles, so we added another 30, used 7.6 megawatt hours of energy. On average is about 250 watt hours per mile, so about 4 miles per kilowatt hour, which is actually not bad for an overall average. And I'm going to zero this back out and see what it does in the summer in a few months when I switch them again. Alright, so I've got the lugs all loosened up. You got to do that on the ground, and then once that's done, you just get ready to jack it up and then swap the tires. I took one of the hockey pucks, and just so you can see it, it's got a little nub that fits into the body of the car, and that's a jacking point for your car, and then just get to work. So if you look carefully, you'll see that both wheels are now off the ground. So technically I can do both wheels with just one jacking, so it makes the job go quite a bit faster. So let's get right to it. One thing I like to do when you do get underneath the car and take the wheel off is to take a look in here, make sure there's nothing that doesn't look right, no damage or wires loose, etc. You're gonna have surface rust and that kind of stuff, but that's okay. Check the brakes to make sure there's enough brake material, and rotors are pretty smooth. You hardly use brakes in this car, so it'll probably last for a while. Then I like to clean this hub here because I have to put a centering ring to put the aftermarket wheels on, and sometimes they get a little bit of rust and maybe it won't fit right. So just a little bit of scrubbing down, make sure it's clean, and then should be good to go. So I'll do that. I'll put the next wheel back on. Sometimes I put a little anti-seize on the threads just to make sure they're easy to come off, but this time I think it's pretty good, so I'm not going to bother. But clean the hub a little bit and then get to go with the replacement. Alright guys, so here we have the front right wheel and the hub. So same thing, we look around, make sure everything's okay, but I want to show you guys this upper ball joint here. So sometime in the winter, maybe about a month and a half ago, I started hearing this squeak. The car was just like squeak, 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 squeak every time it went over a bump or just turned the wheel or what have you. And of course, when I checked the internet, that ball joint apparently gets a lot of moisture and just kind of runs dry because it's open up to pretty much just the atmosphere, so you get a lot of water draining on this. So a lot of people have come up with a fix of probably have to replace it eventually, that control arm, but a lot of people have come up with a fix of injecting some kind of grease in there to hold it for a while. Now for some reason the squeak has stopped, and so I just kind of let it go for now, but at some point I may try a fix or just replace it, but it's pretty expensive just to replace that upper control arm there. But another trick I've seen is also someone took this nut out, take that hex head out, and then that way you have free control of that ball joint, and you can move it around to kind of work that grease in there to make it last a bit longer. So I might do that at some point. I just don't feel like working on that right now. So I'm just gonna change the wheels and tires for now, and then maybe on a nice summer day, I have nothing better to do, I may take that apart and move it around and do it on both sides. It seems to only happening on the front, so we'll see. But just want to show you guys that's a common maintenance apparently on these Model 3s. The other maintenance item is down here is the underbody tray, and I actually did replace, I have to put together the video, but I did replace that last year and put a kind of a metal tray in there, because the one that they had was some kind of a fabric, and it was just kind of coming apart in the winter time. So I replaced that. I'll try to document that and show you guys on a video at some point as well. So back to swapping winter tires. All right guys, so we're almost done. I got the wheels back on, everything looks good. Couple important points: always make sure that if you have unidirectional tires with an arrow pointing one way, make sure those arrows are pointing straight, otherwise you've done something wrong, speaking from experience. So always make sure you check on that. Let's see if I need better light. I'll show you the arrow. All right, here, this is rotation, and let me get a better light. All right, so if you see here it says rotation and an arrow pointing forward direction, that's what you want. And the last thing, you want to torque these bolts to the right torque settings. So according to Tesla, these should be torqued to 129 foot-pound of torque, which is quite a bit, but that's what the manufacturer recommends. So I got my torque wrench here, set it to 130 or 129 foot-pounds. And I'll just go through all of them, do it in a, it shouldn't take too long, but pretty much when you put the wheel on, you tighten it while the car is up in the air, but not just hand tight. And then when you bring it down on the ground, you put the full torque on it. And when you tighten it in a star pattern, obviously, to make sure the wheel is centered and everything is done right. But that's really all it is for today. I hope this was helpful to you guys. So take care and have a good day. Bye-bye. But wait, there's more. One important thing to remember is to make sure that the tire pressure is at the recommended air pressure. So for these cars, it's 42 PSI. So I'm going to make sure that I put 42 PSI on all the tires. That way we're all set and ready to go. Bye-bye.